Coronation Street viewers are still split over who might be killed in Weatherfield this week and who could be responsible, though many believe they have picked up important hints during the episode centered on Theo Silverton. The intense storyline on the ITV soap continues to build, but fans have known for some time that one of the 5 possible victims would die this month, following a flash-forward scene shown earlier in the year. In that earlier episode, Betsy Swain appeared shaken and nervous as she spoke to police officers about discovering the body of someone familiar to her. She revealed that she had attended her mother Lisa Swain's wedding to Carla Connor and was on her way into town when she came across the shocking scene. Now, months later, Lisa and Carla's wedding has finally taken place, and as the celebrations came to an end, the couple were alone when a scream echoed nearby. Although Lisa reacted with concern, Carla dismissed the noise as nothing serious. However, viewers are aware that the scream actually came from Betsy, and this week's storyline is unfolding across 5 episodes, each revisiting the same day from a different suspect's perspective before the victim is revealed at the end of the week. The dramatic run of episodes began with Theo, who was frustrated to find Todd at the flat preparing to leave for Thailand. He attempted to convince him to stay, but the situation quickly escalated into a confrontation. George Shuttleworth arrived just in time to calm things down, but the tension did not end there. Despite already being struck by Theo, George carried out another plan by faking a leg cramp before suddenly lunging at him and pulling him into the bathroom. Todd then secured the door to stop Theo from following, giving them a chance to escape. When police later arrived, Theo managed to avoid capture and went on to confront Todd once again. Todd had already set off in a taxi towards the airport, but realized he had left his phone behind, prompting him to return. Upon going back, he was met by Theo waiting for him in a dimly lit street, holding the missing phone. Elsewhere, during the fallout from their clash, Gary Windass was seen vandalizing Theo's van after hearing about Summer Spellman's devastation over losing Billy Mayhew and her anger towards Theo's actions. This has led fans to speculate that Gary could be the one responsible for Theo's death, while others believe someone else might commit the crime and leave Gary to take the blame. Coronation Street appears to have sealed a dark fate for a major character after a shocking car incident during Murder Week. The dramatic storyline is now in full swing, with episodes from Monday to Thursday focusing on the key group of potential victims: Megan Walsh, Jodie Ramsey, Carl Webster, Theo Silverton, and Maggie Driscoll, before one of them meets a deadly end in Friday's intense conclusion. The latest episode centered on Carl, following his final hours before planning to leave for a new life abroad as he attempted to revisit past conflicts while struggling with a small sense of conscience buried beneath his cold exterior. Although the timeline connects back to last week's wedding events, Carl's story begins with him seeking out Abby Webster in an effort to apologize for his earlier cruel remarks about her children. In a surprising shift, his usual harsh tone is replaced by what seems like genuine regret, revealing a more conflicted side of his personality as his better nature clashes with his darker instincts. He follows Abby to the garage and admits that he once believed he loved her, or at least understood love in his own limited way, offering a rare insight into his emotional struggles. Having never truly experienced love, Carl struggles to understand how to give or receive it, and although Abby initially tries to push him away, she eventually agrees to share a final drink with him. Despite still feeling anger towards him, Carl makes an effort to fix his mistakes before leaving, but the moment is interrupted when Kevin arrives, leading Carl to step away, while Kevin and Abby reflect on how life might improve without him. Later, as Sally Metcalf and Fizz Dobbs arrive to collect drinks, an intoxicated Carl begins directing insults at them, only for them to stand their ground and respond. When Tyrone Dobbs enters, Carl attempts to embarrass him as well, before storming out, having once again created tension and resentment. Meanwhile, Debbie Webster is shown struggling emotionally after sending her son away, with her condition worsening as she momentarily forgets her husband's name and breaks down in distress. Although she is comforted, her husband later expresses intense anger over the situation, blaming Carl for the damage caused and hinting at thoughts of revenge despite being urged to move forward. Carl's behavior takes another dark turn when he approaches Theo and suggests spending time together, leading to a confrontation that quickly escalates into violence between them. Their fight spills onto the street, where both attempt to overpower each other until Kevin intervenes and separates them. Afterwards, Carl directs his anger at Kevin, but then admits he originally returned to support him during his illness, even though his actions later contradicted that intention. He offers the possibility of reconciliation in the future, but Kevin refuses, making it clear that their relationship is beyond repair before leaving. Unbeknownst to Carl, Kevin takes back the money given to him, later confirming it through a message, which pushes Carl further into destructive behavior. Carl then heads to the garage, deletes security footage of his presence, and continues drinking before attempting to tamper with a car. As he works beneath the vehicle, an unknown person quietly enters and removes the support holding the car up. The car suddenly collapses onto Carl, leaving him seriously injured. Elsewhere, as Debbie confronts Kevin over the stolen money, a badly hurt Carl is seen being driven away, pleading for help while his fate hangs in the balance. With Carl critically wounded and facing danger not only from his injuries, but also from those around him, the question remains whether he can escape this situation. The episode offered a rare look into Carl's inner struggles, showing a deeply troubled individual beneath his hardened exterior, leaving uncertainty over whether this marks the end of his story or something more to come. Coronation Street has shed more light on Jodie's scheme to break apart David and Shona's relationship. Actress Olivia Frances Brown has revealed further insight into Jodie Ramsey's daring attempt to ruin the marriage between David and Shona Platt. In upcoming scenes, Jodie tries to frame David in a cheating situation by sneaking into his bed and pretending to be Shona. Since David is intoxicated after attending a wedding celebration, he is not fully aware of what is happening, raising the possibility that Jodie could successfully trap him in a compromising position. While discussing Jodie's emotions, Olivia explained that the character is deeply fixated on David and believes she may be in love with him, convincing herself that he should feel the same way. She suggested that Jodie's obsession may not truly be about David himself, but rather what he represents, including stability, security, affection, and a sense of belonging, things she has never really experienced. Jodie has never had someone care for her in the same way, and seeing her sister enjoy that kind of life has caused her emotions to spiral out of control. Her decision to intensify her manipulative behavior comes after she realizes that Shona has not been truthful about their past. Shona had previously insisted that she never received the heartfelt letter Jodie sent after leaving home years ago, but it later becomes clear that she did receive it and chose to ignore it. Olivia described the relationship between the sisters as deeply complicated, explaining that Jodie genuinely loves and admires Shona despite everything. However, underlying feelings of resentment and bitterness remain, particularly because Jodie believes Shona never came back to support her in the way she supported herself. Jodie is among several characters who could potentially be killed off during the dramatic week, alongside Carl Webster, Maggie Driscoll, Megan Walsh, and Theo Silverton. There is a possibility that someone from the Platt family might seek revenge for her manipulative actions, though it is also possible that people from her troubled past could be responsible. Olivia joked that it would be surprising if Jodie was not considered a possible victim, given how often she finds herself surrounded by trouble and chaos. She added that Jodie constantly ends up at the center of dramatic situations, as that is the only way she knows how to deal with life. According to the actress, Jodie struggles to build healthy relationships, which makes her story quite tragic. She also shared that being part of such a major storyline has been an exciting experience, especially as a newcomer thrown straight into intense drama. She described the journey as fast-paced and thrilling from the start, admitting she does not want it to end, even though it may already have reached its conclusion. Coronation Street is shown on weekday evenings at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.